The number is exactly $270,000. That is the total wealth you could lose by making one mistake in 2027. Welcome to The Explainer, where we look at the spreadsheets the mainstream media ignores. If you were born in 1960, your financial clock is ticking toward a historic collision. You are part of the first generation in American history to reach the maximum retirement age. For decades, the full retirement age was 65. Then it slowly moved to 66. But for the 1960 cohort, the line has officially reached the ceiling of age 67. This is the 1960 scoreboard. Most people are playing this game with an outdated rule book from their parents' generation. They believe that retiring at 62 or 65 is still the standard middle-class path. But the data shows something different. The standard playbook is now a path to financial fragility. If you were born in 1960, 2027 is the year you finally hit that 100% mark. However, millions have already walked into a trap they cannot escape. If you claimed your benefits at 62 back in 2022, you accepted a permanent penalty. That penalty is a 30% reduction in your monthly income for the rest of your life in a spreadsheet. That looks like a minor deduction, but the real-world impact is staggering. For an average earner, this mistake costs between $600 and $900 every single month. Over a 25-year retirement, that adds up to a loss of $180,000 to $270,000. This isn't just clickbait, it is a calculation of lost cumulative wealth you can never recover. I want to introduce you to Frank, a relatable avatar for this specific financial crisis. Frank was born in 1960 and has spent 30 years working a steady management job. He feels like he is doing fine because his 401k has a decent balance, but Frank hasn't stress-tested his plan against the reality of the 2027 milestone. He is operating on the mental scoreboard rather than the wealth scoreboard. Frank heard rumors that the 1960 cohort was cursed by the so-called COVID notch. He worried that the 2020 economic shutdown permanently lowered his lifetime Social Security benefits. I've read the boring government documents. So you don't have to, Frank. The truth is that the notch was largely avoided because wages actually rose that year. The average wage index for 2020 climbed to $55,628.60, keeping your benefits intact. But while the notch didn't get you, the 1960 trap certainly might, because your full retirement age is 67. Filing early is more expensive than ever. Someone born in 1950 only faced a 25% reduction for filing at age 62. For you, that penalty jumped to 30% because the goalposts have moved further away. This is the hidden drain that quieted Frank's retirement dreams before they even started. 2027 represents the first time in history that the system demands this much patience. Most people are terrified of these numbers, and they should be, in a spreadsheet way. We are looking at a demographic and pension crisis that is hitting the 1960 cohort first. My goal today is to give you the exit code to survive this transition. We need to look past the boring documents to find the actionable data points. Frank thinks he can solve this by working part-time while he collects his early check. He believes he can beat the system by having it both ways in 2027. But Frank is about to run into the 2027 transition year earnings test. This is a high-risk zone where the government can withhold $1. For every $2 earned, there is a specific threshold of $23,000 to $400 that Frank needs to be watching very closely if he crosses that line. Before his birthday in 2027, his benefits will vanish, yet there is a counterintuitive twist that most retirees completely miss about that year. The moment Frank turns 67 in 2027, the earnings test disappears like it never existed. He could earn an unlimited amount of money with zero reduction from that month onward. But that is only if he understands how to navigate the mid-year rules correctly. Frank also has a hidden villain waiting for him in the 2027 tax landscape. A recent legislative update, called the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, has changed everything. This is why the spreadsheet always beats the standard playbook. Frank's plan is hitting an invisible wall. He thinks 2027 is the year he finally takes control. But he is walking into a regulatory buzzsaw. The first villain is the earnings test, a rule that punishes those who want to work and collect benefits simultaneously. For Frank, born in 1960. The stakes are historically high in the months leading up to his 67th birthday. Frank faces two different financial limits if he earns more than $23,400 early in the year. The Social Security Administration begins withholding his checks. Specifically, they take $1 for every $2 he earns. Over that limit, it is a 50% tax on his productivity before he even pays the IRS. A single cent. Many retirees see this penalty and panic, choosing to quit their jobs entirely. They believe the system is designed to stop them from working, but they are only looking at half the spreadsheet.